Okay, I'd like to start off by asking the question rhetorically of why we should care about Thomas Jefferson. What sort of legacy can we draw from him? Is it time to move on and get rid of Thomas Jefferson? This is not the first time people have thought about toppling Jefferson's statues and succeeding in doing so. Many years ago, Connor Cruise O'Brien, a famous Irish journalist, proposed in a controversial article that Jefferson be knocked off his pedestal, and we needed to put other founders up there. O'Brien still thought the idea of founders was important, that we needed to begin someplace, and I'll get back to that. But why Jefferson, particularly in a moment when we think of him in terms of his failed promises, the promise that has in many ways defined our collective understanding of American history, which is the promise of democratization, that is, of progress, of improvement, of expanding the electorate, of acknowledging and respecting all the peoples who are Americans. It's never been easy, it's never been fun, there's been a lot of heartbreak and a lot of setbacks, but it's our story and we have cherished it. And it begins with Jefferson. So is Jefferson still useful to us, and why? Well, the first point I'd like to make is that the wrong approach to Jefferson and any of the founders is a worshipful approach. They are not perfect. Jefferson's not perfect. And I'm not going to tell you, oh, there's some blemishes on Jefferson's, on the portrait of Jefferson, and we need to correct them. No, I'm going to tell you those blemishes, those things that we revolt against, are central to our understanding of Jefferson. And the key word I would like to underscore here is understanding, making sense of Jefferson. Well, that's a long windup. What I want to say is that we, throughout American history, thinking of the we as Americans, have celebrated the Declaration of Independence as the American creed, as defining the fundamental principles of the regime, the values that have guided our political life, that have contained our conflicts, the belief in equality, the belief in consent, the idea that government is ours, that we own it, it comes from us, that fundamental radical idea that the people are their own sovereign. That seems to be second nature to us now. We don't credit Jefferson with that in any particular way. In fact, it's more likely that we're cynical about the very existence of a people, and therefore of an idea of popular sovereignty. What could that possibly do if the idea of a people is itself a fiction? We talk about toppling founders from their pedestals, but the biggest founder of all is the American people. And we have celebrated the American people because we believe of the promise imminent in our collective story is that we will become better. Does that seem hopelessly naive today? Yeah, it might. But my big message is that what we really need in America today is a genuine progressive movement that recaptures the sense of possibility and hope that defines the revolutionary founding generation.